Greetings, starseeds and lightworkers. Ava here, and today we have a question for DiYeena, the Pleiadian, and the question is really around remembering your past lives. Some of you are really curious about this topic and or are curious if they even exist. Maybe you have heard other people in your circles talking about past lives, and maybe you haven't believed them or didn't have an opinion, or maybe some of you are full on, I know they exist because I've experienced it. Wherever you are on the spectrum, we want to talk about that today, just past lives and what the Pleiadians can say around remembering past lives. Do we have past lives? Like, what is the real story here around past lives? So those of you who are new here, welcome. So glad to have you here, and can't wait for you to meet DiYeena. So I'm going to go ahead and go out and put you in touch with the Pleiadians. Here we go. Greetings, this is DiYeena of the Pleiadian Family, and we are here to bring the love. And we are so fascinated by this question you have around what you consider the past lives, you see. So very interesting, because we start from bringing in the perspective and the reminder. And some of you that have been listening here to DiYeena for a little bit maybe are already tuning into what the answer might be here, you see. Because what we talk about is not so much the past life, because what we have here, past life, is a very perspective of what you are living here right now, which is valid, but it is a perspective of the 3D reality, which is a linear perspective of time, you see, where you have a past and you have a present and you have a future, you see. And it's a less what the experience is when you become more aware of the higher dimensions. Oh, excuse me. Sometimes this body has to do a little burp, you see. And so we try to do it without making it sound too loud for you, you see. So we like to be a little bit playful too. And we like to say that with the past lives, so you are really looking at how do we really be in the full experience of what is accurate, and still being in the world we are in, you see. So you are still in a perspective where you experience time the way you do, because you are in the 3 dimensions, you see. So you are in a dimensionality where you are seeing, it feels like a past life, and there feels like a now life, and it feels like a future life, you see. It feels like those things are real, you see. It feels like those things do happen. You see, so what we like to bring into the form, into the consciousness, is to just push a little bit on that perspective to open up into another reality, which is that all your lives are happening in this moment. And that in that sense, they do exist, but whether you call them past life or parallel life or multidimensional realities, however you view this, you see, it is consciousness playing in different levels of reality and having experiences, sometimes very parallel experiences. So it feels like you are doing the same thing over and over again, because sometimes you are. A lot of times we will put in a particular lesson and we'll say, well, we're just going to really learn this one very well, and we'll put it in a bunch of the timelines, you see, all over, you see. So you're playing out about 12 of them at once, you see, in the multidimensionalities of the lives or the timelines, and you are really working it all out, you see. So when you feel like, or you even have what you call a past life reading, you can see people who are more tuned in with the third eye, or they're a little more psychic, or they can do certain techniques, can access these multidimensional layers of reality, of consciousness, you see. And they can feel into the fractals of your soul that are in the different worlds, in the different dimensions, you see. And so they can say, oh, you are a farmer in your past life, and you are doing this, and oh, your house burned down, or you lost a loved one, or whatever may have happened, you see. Or you are a fancy queen in another life, or you are doing whatever you are doing, you see. Or you died at battle, or whatever happened, you see. And so it feels very much like it happened before, because you are in the now of the present. And so if it wasn't in the present, it had to have been in the past, because that is how you view the life and how you view the time. But it's really playing out in the now. And so this is why sometimes when we are moving around the spiral of what we consider the time, it feels like there are moments where it feels like everything is much more intense. Even the learning about a particular dimensionality, or a different fractal, or a different, what you would consider a past life or parallel life, even the learning or the awareness of those oftentimes will happen when they're at the crossing point where the frequencies are rubbing up against one another in such a way to create an opportunity for a growth, for evolution and change, you see, for an opportunity for consciousness to really get it in the moment, you see. So this is really how we play. This is really how we play. So you just have to understand that there is really only one you in the biggest sense of the word, you see. And that one you decides to come into fractal consciousness, to fractal itself and say, we're going to experience all that there is. And in that we choose to come into different worlds and parallel realities which are infinite. There's infinite, you see. Infinite on different planets and dimensions and possibilities in consciousness. And you have no idea how intricate it becomes, you see. If you imagine the flower of life and you create it not two-dimensional or three-dimensional, but in all its multidimensionalities in both directions, infinite directions, in both ways, you can imagine it going fractaling inward on itself into the depths of what you would consider the nothing, but there is always something in it, all the way to the expansion beyond creation and all the levels, you see. It just keeps going and going and going. It's infinite, you see. So there is never an ending point, and it is all the play. It is all the play. And so it is simply for the play of it. You see, we want to know the big point, the big question, the big answer. There is no necessarily answer other than it is the essence of consciousness. It is simply the play of consciousness. It is simply the essence of it. It is like a breath of life, you see, breathing the in and the out, you see. And so it is experience, to experience itself and then to die away into it all and to re-experience itself. So it's just playing. It is just play. And we like to give it so much thought and energetics, you see. But so you want to know, how do I remember my past life or my parallel life or whatever you want to call it, you see. And it is simply to be more present in the now. It is really as simple as that, you see, and to be more open to the possibility that you have another part of your soul doing another play in another world, you see, right now. And having another experience, you see. And the more that you simply open to this possibility, the more you may have the dreams about it, or the downloads, or the visions, or. You see, but that is not really the point. Who cares? You see, if it is important for you to know it for something that you are doing here, you may know it. And most of the time, it is not that important. You see, maybe we feel like we need it for a little piece of the healing or a little bit of the understanding. And so we get these pieces as we need them for the purpose in the now, you see. So trust that if there is a purpose in the now, you will be given the information you need, because we always are. And this is the part where we can really trust the flow. You see, we can really trust the flow in the process. So with that, we will leave you. We hope that we do not confuse the mind too much. We hope that you are really in the heart as you receive the messages, so that you can really be in the Pleiadian frequency and taking in the experience of consciousness as it likes to play in all the worlds. And to just know that you are having a brilliant time in all the different dimensions, playing in all the ways. And this is just simply one way that you choose to play. So with that, we leave you. And we say we love you all very much. And we are all here for you. So if you ever feel alone, just know that the Pleiadians are so close. And you can always call upon us to bring you a little bit of healing, a little bit of energetic support, a little bit of the love, a little bit of whatever you need. You just send out a little prayer for us and you feel our presence. You see, it's as simple as that. With that, we love you very much. Blessings. I trust that this message was exactly what you needed to hear today. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already. I'm so grateful for all of you here in this community and love you all so very dearly. And if you have a question for DiYeena you'd love her to answer, go ahead and throw it in the chat below, or head over to the website, DiYeena.com, and you can leave it there as well. Can't wait to see you next time. Blessings.